Hey, what's up out there? Back once again for Postgame Rapid reaction. Great to have you guys here, even though the Kraken lost. Thanks for being here live for the show. Kraken were on a streak here to kind of end their second campaign in the league. They had put together 5 wins in a row coming into the evening. They were looking to make it 6. Once again, they've done that a few times this year, but they just couldn't get it done tonight. Looked like they ran out of gas a little bit and didn't have any answers. For the Vegas Golden Knights, a very strong team, the first place team in the Pacific Division. They've racked up a ton of points. I think it's 109 points now in their point total. For the standings, Vegas looking strong. They get Mark Stone back. We're going to talk about it throughout the evening here. Not too long of a stream tonight, but game number 81, you guys, it's in the books, and we only have 1 game left now in the Kraken regular season. It's going to be back home against the Vegas Golden Knights again, so get used to this. Maybe, a possible playoff preview at some point. Probably not in the first round, but who knows what'll happen in the playoffs. Let's get to you guys real quick here. I have a poll question if you want to answer that as well. Is this going to be your first time watching the NHL playoffs as a fan? If not, I'd also like to know who are you rooting for in the first round out of some of the matchups. Let me know in the comments down in the chat, you guys. Can't wait to get into this live stream tonight, get through it, go through the recap. Let's take your comments here. Ty coming in a little bit frustrated, it sounds like, looking mad gassed and completely read like a book. They were 3 steps ahead of us all night, it felt like. Vegas knew our systems and stuffed them all over the place. They also knew how to attack and where to make us play. Can Hack make some changes? And that's going to be something to watch, especially as you get into the playoff series. No matter who you play, you're going to have to be able to make adjustments, because you better believe the coaching staff on the opposing team is going to be ready to go every night, having changes to their strategy, to their lineup, and things you have to adjust to on the fly, even within games. So we'll see how Hackstall does. That's going to have to be part of his evolution as a coach in the playoffs as well. Ty also says, the real question is if you have watched before, did you have a horse in the race? Totally different experience. That's very true. If this is your first time with a team that you really care about, I'd love to hear about that. We're going to look at the poll results here after I get through a few of the comments here to start the stream. Thanks again for being here, you guys. It looks like Striatic and Spartan also here. Spartan says, well, not a great way to end the road regulation season, but hopefully Thursday will be a good redemption night game. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe Kraken are going to gather themselves, go back home. I think it's fan appreciation night, last regular season game in the building, so we'll see how they do. Maybe a little bit more energy in the tank for that one at home. Striatic says, the one hope I have is that it didn't look like the team was playing with structure. Lots of bad improv on the power play, for example. Yeah, they were pretty sloppy, I thought, all night long, offensively and defensively. Their zone entries I didn't think were very good. A lot of attention to details was lost tonight. We don't need to use it as an excuse, but it's definitely a reason, being tired, back-to-back games against a really strong opponent. And maybe, they went a little too hard last night against Arizona. I'm not sure. But all that matters at this time of year is trying to get as many points and wins as you can. They do have that first wild card spot locked down. I think it's going to be pretty difficult for them now to move any higher than that, but we'll see what happens over the next couple of nights in the league. A couple of notes here as we get into the setup. We're going to go into that. I think it sounds like Minnesota lost, right, to the Jets. So there's no way the Kraken can meet them in round 1. And I think another game was still going on that might have implications. So it's really down to Dallas, Vegas, Edmonton, or LA as the first round matchup for Seattle. So we'll keep tracking that. If you guys have a better update than that in real time, please let me know in the chat and I'll pop you up on the screen as we go here. But yeah, tough one tonight. Kraken fall 4-1. Stratic also says tired, unstructured, so not representative of what the team really is. I definitely agree with you there. I know Ty sounded like he was frustrated. I think a lot of fans were frustrated tonight, but maybe understanding of the fact that it was a tough one to try to get in the back-to-back against a strong team like Vegas. Spartan says, which, by the way, I fly out to Seattle Thursday morning to see the final and regulation game, so I'm going to go back as always. That's awesome. Good to hear that. Maybe we'll see you out there. I'm going to plan on being there on Thursday. We do that 32 crew meetup at the Living Wall, so if you're interested, check that out. Great group of people, and it should be a busy one because it's the last regular season game in the building for the year, and everybody's charged up about the playoffs here. So that's cool. Great to hear that, Spartan. Looking forward to maybe meeting you here someday in the future. Donnell says, you back on live again for a second straight night. That's right, Donnell. I'm going streaking myself, even though, well, not actually. We don't want to see that, but streaking as far as being live 2 nights in a row. The Kraken couldn't keep their streak going, but yeah, I'm right here. I'm going to try to keep this going through the playoffs as well as many post-game streams as I can. But I don't usually do post-game streams live when I go to the Kraken game, but sometimes I'll record one and post it the next day. But thank you for being here, Donnell. Great to have you along. Gregory says, just came from the game, and ugh, yeah, that was a tough one. That's right. Gregory was down in Vegas for that to take it all in. Love to hear about what your arena experience was there. I've never been to T-Mobile Arena in Vegas just yet, Gregory, so I'm kind of curious, how did things go for you? Let me know in the chat, and I'll let everybody else know how it went for you. It says, would have been nice to make it more competitive. Yeah, that's too bad that the Kraken just couldn't get it done tonight. It felt like, I've said a couple of times now, they were out of gas. So keep the comments coming. You guys are going to keep popping you up on the screen. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to talk about the game tonight against the Golden Knights. Going to give you that recap. My name is Mike here, Sasquatch Studio. A couple of quick announcements. Kind of like I mentioned last night, I did launch the Retro Hockey video game series on the channel, so check that out if you haven't already. There's 3 videos that I posted that kind of go together. One of them is a battle with my brother playing NHL 94. That's a lot of fun, so check that out. And then we're going to have Lady Squatch on the screen here not too far in the future. She's rogered up to be a part of one of the battles. And I think we're going to do a live stream as well. So stay tuned for that. And big thanks to everybody out there that sent your audio and text messages over for this podcast episode. I'm going to put that out tomorrow. Ty, by the way, he was going to re-record a part of his message because he goofed up, but we don't have to tell everybody all of our secrets, right? But yeah, Ty, if you're going to do that, send it over tonight because I'm putting final edits on late night editing. That's what I do here in my spare time. But anyhow, thank you, everybody. I'm really hoping you enjoy the episode. So far, what I've got put together, it's really coming together. It's your words, your stories, and I kind of share mine as well throughout. And I'm really, really excited to bring that to you guys. So tonight, let's talk about it. I'm going to give you rapid reaction. We're going to look at the roster because a lot of things in flux there tonight. Also, the recap, like I said, we're going to look at the look ahead, the standings, the 3 stars, and the stats. The game day prediction thread is officially over. So Steve or Jim, if you're watching tonight, that's it. Jim has put the final touches on his victory for season 1. So Jim is going to win the prize pack. And also I have a trophy, maybe like a little mini Stanley Cup that we're going to send out. We're going to do this every year. And so Jim is going to be the first person on that trophy, and we're going to rotate the trophy around to the winner. So congratulations, Jim. You are officially locked in as the first prediction thread winner here at Sasquatch NHL. And that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for participating. We're going to keep that going into the playoffs too. But from here forward, the points will just be for fun. But yeah, and of course, we're going to live chat with you guys. Keep the comments coming. Let me know who your 3 stars were. Let's look at the poll results so far. I said, will this be your first time watching the NHL playoffs? And Ty kind of added on there, is this going to be your first time watching with the team that you care about, like the Seattle Kraken? 75% of you say no, and 25% say yes. So there's a couple people out there that haven't watched the playoffs before, and I'd love to hear from you guys if this is your first time. And if you're watching the Seattle Kraken or rooting for somebody else maybe, just love to hear from you guys in the chat. Donnell says, Islanders got help from the Blackhawks tonight. They beat the Penguins in regulation. Islanders better show up tomorrow night against the Canadiens. Just beat them, and they're in the playoffs. So yeah, something to keep an eye on in the Eastern Conference. Also, the Penguins will be out. Devils beat the Sabres. Jack Hughes gets the points record, passes Patrick Elias, and also Jack's younger brother, Luke Hughes, made his NHL debut. So great updates, Donnell. Thank you. Oh, there's one more here. Let me ask, since your Kraken makes the playoffs for the first time in their second season, will you do a playoffs live stream or not? I'm planning on doing, yes, I'm planning on doing a live stream, maybe a post game. I might do like a watch along type of deal for sure. But the first game, I'm going to be, let me think about this. The first home game, I'm going to be at that one. I haven't figured out my schedule for the road games just yet. So stay tuned. I'm going to try to do something here on the channel to celebrate that, and be great to have you guys along for that as well. So thank you for the question, Donnell. But yeah, that's in the plans for sure. And playoffs just take it up a whole nother level. So we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, stay tuned, and I'll let you guys know on the schedule, either on Twitter or right over here on YouTube. You can keep up with me for all the updates. So let's look at the game setup as we come in tonight. Kraken, 46-26-8. Vegas 49-22-9. So Vegas gets their 50th win on the year. They're first in the Pacific Division. That's pretty impressive. This team, without Mark Stone up until this point, comes back healthy. Another strong season in the desert overall for Vegas. And you never know, maybe a little bit of a playoff preview if the Kraken can get out of the first round. But I don't know. Well, that's probably a long shot, and I don't think the way it's looking right now that the Kraken will meet Vegas in round one. We'll see. Okay, so the Kraken 46-27-8 now. They're fourth in the Pacific, like we've talked about. We know they're clinched. They're locked into that first wild card spot, most likely. They can't fall any further than that. They were streaking 5 wins coming into tonight. And that's a good way to finish your second campaign. Even though they have a little bump in the road here in Vegas, maybe they can get home and recover as we head towards that playoff berth. But yeah, like I mentioned, Minnesota lost. I have to do a little scoreboard watching here as we go. But if you guys have updates, also fill me in. And let's get into the roster changes here. So tonight, a lot of churn. This was tough to kind of sort through. It looked like Sprong bumped up to the second line. Schwartz came back in tonight. And then you had Froden also in, so Geeky was a healthy scratch. Hayden injured, of course, we know that. And then Schultz and Susie both came out of the lineup. Dunn got back in. Megna dropped down to pair up with Fleury there, so a lot of movement. Joey Decord, also the starter in net tonight with Martin Jones injured, so we'll have to keep tracking that and see where we're at as we get closer to the playoffs, which start the 17th of April. That's a Monday. And if I had to guess, I would probably guess that the Kraken will be on the opening night just because they're the newest team in the league and probably best to put them on right away in the playoffs. We'll see, but that's my guess. We'll see what happens when they release the official schedule. So there's your look at the roster tonight. Keep the comments coming, you guys. Donnell says, let me ask, would you rather want your Kraken to play in the playoffs in the first round? So that's a tough question. I've been asking everybody on the channel here as well. Honestly, if I had to pick, I don't really want to face Edmonton because they're on fire right now. I thought it would be fun to match up against LA, just because maybe get that rivalry going a little bit more. Dallas could be a really intriguing matchup because we've played them really tough in the matchups, prior in the season. We went to overtime once with them. We got beat by them, and then we also beat them later in the season. I think that was 3 matchups that I can remember off the top of my head. So Dallas would be interesting. Doesn't sound like we're going to meet up with Minnesota, but Vegas, I really hope we don't meet up against them because they look scary. So I think it's Dallas, Vegas, Edmonton, or LA. Probably my preference there would be LA or Dallas, but we'll see. Got to see where the chips fall, and just take what you get. I always say that, be careful what you wish for when you get into a playoff matchup. All right, let's get into the recap tonight, you guys. Let's get through this game. Never fun to read this off when the Kraken have lost, but maybe some things to learn from here as we get towards playoff game 1. And let's finish the season good at home on Thursday against these Golden Knights. So we go to the first period. Joey Decord, like I said, getting the start in net. Brossoit for the Vegas Golden Knights. That's a fun one to say. Starting in goal there. First few minutes, a little bit of a chess match, it felt like. But then Vegas kind of starts to crank it up a bit. They have their first few shots of the game and then a quick breakout. Carlson enters the zone after a great play, getting it out of their own end and creating that transition up the ice. Carlson just pulls defenders towards him as he skates through the center of the ice there in the Kraken zone, and he hands it off to Smith in the corner, who fires across to Amadio on the weak side. He snuck down low there and makes it 1-0 for Vegas in the early going. Eggenator, what's up? At the end of the last stream, I said my first Kraken game was the game where they clinched our first ever playoff berth. I don't know if you saw it. I did see that. I wasn't able to comment on it. That's so cool that you were there for that, and you got to be there for all the energy in the building on that night that they clinched. I'm curious, did you get one of those playoff shirts or a puck? I hear it was really tough to get your hands on those. My wife was lucky and got one for me, but I was actually out of town. So yeah, tell me about it, Eggenator. I'm curious. Okay, so we go a little further forward in the first period, and you know the drill with Kraken games. when there's a goal, stay seated for at least another 1 to 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes if to be extra safe. But the Kraken with the response goal here, you know the drill, right? Vegas a little sloppy in the neutral zone, and this was probably their biggest mistake of the night. They were pretty clean after that, but Bjorkstrand picks it up in the neutral zone, scoops it up, sends it up to Yanni Gourde. A nice little play there, quickly transitioning, and Yanni scores to tie the game 1-1. And that was the bright spot for the Kraken, outside of the fact that Joey Decord played pretty dang good all night long. Eganator says, I got a playoff sign. Nice. Yeah, those are cool too. But yeah, what a great memory. First time in the building you get to see the team clinch their first ever playoff berth. That's awesome. Okay, so second period here. We go forward, and Vegas starts to get their transition game going here. And I believe it was Susi had a turnover there, kind of fed things the other direction. And Vegas finished really nice on that play. It was deja vu here. The same three Golden Knights on the score sheet for this one. Michael Amadio drove the net, and Smith and Carlson in on that as well. So great play by Vegas there. So the Kraken again trying to gather themselves as the second period goes on. Joey Decord making some nice saves, keeping them in the game within 1 goal. And on that play there, he kept the puck out of the goal. He was like right on the goal line there. He kind of spun and swung his pads parallel to the goal line. And that tells you a lot about, where his head's at as a young goaltender. That's great to see. Very headsy play to keep the puck out of the net. So great progress from Joey Decord, even in a loss tonight, a tough one too. And, review, they looked at that, but it didn't cross the line. Or at least they couldn't see it cross the line. So good job, Joey Decord, throughout period 2, throughout the whole game, actually. So we go 10:39 left in the second now. Bjorky goes for goes for holding. I think it was holding, yeah. Golden Knights get an opportunity in the power play. Kraken, that penalty kill tested. They get through it and succeed to keep the game within 1. Joey, some nice saves on that as well. A little helper by McCann. So that was a big moment, but it gets worse from there. 8 minutes remain in the second. Eberle breaks free up the right side. A good chance there, good shot, but not a lot of offensive chances for the Kraken. Little bits and pieces of a hockey game for them, but they just couldn't put it all together tonight. And it just kind of felt like the Golden Knights really started to impose their will on the Kraken through the second, really kind of taking the game over. Kraken continuing to have breakdowns defensively, not playing clean through the middle of the ice. I thought they were lucky to be down by 1 at that point. And just, tired, sloppy, Joey doing his best throughout. So 5:12 left in the second. Vegas breaks out after another Kraken turnover. They go 2-on-1. Riley Smith follows up Amadio's first shot there, kind of bounced right back to Smith. Amadio would have had a hat trick there, but Smith follows it up, puts it in. Vegas has a lead, 3-1, stretching it to a 2-goal lead. So we go to the third period now. And yeah, so 5-on-3. It's tall mountain to climb already. And then you give up a 5-on-3. I know Hackstall wasn't happy with the refs, but yeah, I wasn't thrilled either. So Vegas starts the third with a full 2 minutes 5-on-3. And right away, the puck rotates to Pietrangelo. He takes that shot, kind of bounces off of a Kraken player there right onto Marchessault's stick, and Marchessault buries it. No way Joey could have closed the angle down on that one. So Knights grab that 4-1 lead. And that's kind of it. They didn't really give up too much more after that. You go down about 8 minutes, 30 seconds left. Joey had some more saves. Really amazing saves, by the way, on that little sequence. But just nothing left in the tank for Seattle in general. I felt like Vegas, kind of like Ty said at the beginning of the stream, Vegas had all the answers tonight, and they were more energized. But we do get one more shot against this team on Thursday. Let's get to your guys' comments. Who were your 3 stars? I know they're probably mostly going to be Vegas Golden Knights, but who were your 3 stars, and whose game did you think maybe wasn't so hot tonight? Oh, and before we go too far, let's pop Jim C up on the screen. I'm going to get to all the comments here, I promise, but Jim says, first game, I fell asleep this year. That's what kind of game it was. Yeah, it was a little bit of a snoozer. Too bad. Vegas is a good team. And Jim, I know I announced it at the beginning of the stream. I don't know if you were on or not, but you, you are the official first winner of the prediction day game day threads that we do on Sasquatch NHL. So congrats, Jim. I already sent you a message. I'm going to send you or I'll give you a prize pack. We'll probably see each other in person before too long here. But also, I'm going to have a trophy for this. So we're going to do this every year, just like the Stanley Cup. Jim's going to get his name on the trophy, and then it'll go to the next person the next year. So we'll keep that going as long as we can. As long as you guys like participating, I'm going to keep it going. It's been a lot of fun this year. So yeah. Michael says, how you doing, Squatch? What's up, Michael? How are you doing? Did you watch the Kraken and Golden Knights game tonight? Kind of curious. Got a few comments from Michael here saying, yo, what's up? Good to have you drop by. Egginator says, I was on the upper deck. Oh, okay, so you're a little bit higher up there. It gives a nice view of the ice surface when you sit up there. Avoided listening to Leah Hextall. Okay. Yeah, I stay out of that because, it's not an easy job. Being an announcer in the NHL is not easy. But yeah, lots of opinions on Leah Hextall, and I stay out of that debate. Donnell says, the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs starts Monday, April 17th. Just to remind you, yep, it's right on the top of my mind. I'm ready for it. I can't wait to see who the Kraken are going to line up against and get a shot there in the first round to take down another team and shock the world some more. Stratic says, people say Colorado is weak due to injury, but they just took the spooky, scary Oilers to overtime. McKinnon can almost single-handedly win games even without Landeskog and Cale Makar. Yeah, and the Oilers, they are extremely hot right now, so that's a team, Colorado, I feel like they have this gear that they're going to just be able to put it into and just potentially, mow some teams over in the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. And like you said, Stratic, McKinnon can put the team on his shoulders. Very similar to Connor McDavid. We saw that last year, and he's kind of got that determination factor. It's tough to beat a team with a superstar like that when they're just clicking on, a very high level of playing hockey. But yeah, very intriguing. Seeing those two teams go to overtime, and that playoff feeling is in the air for sure. Jim said, no, I wasn't. Okay, so I'm glad I let you know. But yeah, congrats, Jim. There's no way Steve can catch you at this point because you do have that 2-point lead. Ty says, Jim cheats. He has the horn. It tells him who to pick. Oh, very true. Yeah, we got to keep an eye on Jim. This might have an asterisk attached to it, but yeah. Jim makes his picks usually nice and early in the day, so Ty's theory holds zero water. Jim, you are the clear-cut champion this year. Thank you for everything you do, Mike. Absolutely. It is a joy and a pleasure to do this. I'm going to keep it going. I've dreamed of doing this kind of stuff for a long time, and this year it really kind of came together, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for helping me and being a part of this, and I'm going to remind you again, got that podcast episode coming out to tomorrow. I'm going to publish it. I'm going to do some editing tonight. It's almost done. But sharing your stories and mine as well, what the Kraken playoff run this year has meant to you. And it's really coming together. I'm excited to publish that. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So check it out. Jim also runs a podcast with his group over there, the Kraken Fancast. They do a great job. Had me on the show earlier this year. Hopefully we're going to do some more crossover stuff in the future. Looking forward to that. Egginator says fair. Yeah, okay. A little banter there. Michael, I watched the game from the gym. My first time lifting weights. Okay. Well, good job. You got to get swole up. Maybe I need to do a little bit more of that. I've been trying to run more lately, so that's good. But yeah, I'm not the gym guy. I'm not usually lifting weights. So best of luck to you on that, Michael. I wish Kevin Harlan did the NHL though. Yeah. Ty says, Jim, we getting a fan cast before the postseason. Yeah, let's hear what your podcast has up the sleeve for the playoffs. Maybe a little preview, a little matchup breakdown. I'd love to hear it. Ty is using the horn against the rules. So Michael, the horn that Jim has, it's one of those, I think it's a Bud Light one that goes off and turns red. But yeah, Jim makes the picks way earlier in the day. Ty's just being sarcastic. Ty says, it's magic. I'm telling you, I've seen it go off like 5 minutes before the goal on TV. Okay, so maybe I'll have to go audit all of Jim's picks, make sure they weren't within 5 minutes. Maybe some controversy here. Ty saying, Jim, let's get Mike on the ice. Yeah, it's been a while. That would be fun. Maybe we'll have to have like a podcast drop in, get some of the people from the different podcasts on the ice, because I know a lot of guys do play still. or have played in the past. So that would be kind of interesting. I know that the Kraken press corps, they do one. At least they did one last year, so that was pretty entertaining to see the shots come out from it. But yeah. All right, let's look at the game stats, because we don't need to look at the prediction thread. It's over. I think there was one person named Alex, if Alex happens to be watching, that did get Yanni Gourde correct tonight, but Jim's going to win that hands down, up by 2 points on Steve. Steve could maybe make it look a little nicer if he gets the next one right on Thursday, but yeah, Jim's your champ, and he's going to get a trophy and a prize pack. All right, let's look at the stats. So not a good night from Seattle. 21 shots on goal. That's not nearly enough. They just didn't have anything. They had no answers. Vegas just dominant. They had the transition game going. Lucky for Seattle, Joey Decord played pretty well, kept as many pucks out of the net as he could, but Vegas with 37 shots. They also, did pretty good in the face-off circle. I was surprised that Seattle hung with them there. 54% to 45%, so not too shabby, something to keep an eye on as we go forward. And the Golden Knights had that 5-on-3 power play goal, so they were 1 for 3 on the man advantage. But I thought Seattle's penalty kill before the 5-on-3 was pretty good. 0 for 2 on the power play with Seattle, so just not much in the tank offensively tonight. 39 hits for Seattle. They did have some giveaways at bad moments tonight, so not a bunch of them, but key giveaways at key moments. Shots by period. First period, it was pretty much Vegas had the edge all night. They really pushed the advantage in the second period. They're 16-9. And then, again, third period, you can see that energy level just 4 shots from the Kraken in the third, and it didn't help to start the third. Down 2 men, 2 penalties consecutively there. Alicia saying, sorry I'm late. Oh, that's okay. Good to have you here. Alicia also submitted her message. Alicia, I was just giving an update. I'm going to have that podcast out tomorrow. As long as Ty re-records his message, I'm going to give Ty a hard time. I really want to go on Thursday. The boys looked a bit tired tonight. Yeah, they did. I think everybody was feeling tired. I'm kind of feeling tired tonight, but yeah, the Kraken, coming off a back-to-back, that's a tough one. Against Vegas, tough one. But yeah, Thursday, I'll be there, Alicia. I don't know if you're going to be there or not. That'd be great to see you do that meetup. Spartan earlier said going to be out in Seattle Thursday to see that final game in regulation. So Spartan, I don't know if that's the first time you've been to Climate Pledge Arena, but yeah. First period intermission meetup at the Living Wall 32 crew. Represent. See you guys there. Jim laughing. He is laughing about the magic goal light that he has that predicts all of the goals for him. That's why he won the prediction thread this year. Ty says, I'm jealous because I can't find one. It's really cool and I'm crazy jealous. I think you have to buy them from the back of the beer cartons. Like, they advertise them. I think you actually have to send something in. I see them on the internet sometimes, but you can't just go on Amazon and buy them, I don't think. Anyway. All right, 3 stars. If you guys haven't, let me know. Here's the poll results again real fast. Who are your 3 stars? Even if they're Vegas Golden Knights, that's okay. Give me your Kraken 3 stars. Will this be your first time watching the NHL playoffs? So 11 votes tonight. Thanks, you guys, for voting. 73% saying no, 27% yes. So a couple additional votes there. I'm curious, if this is your first time watching the playoffs, what are you most interested in seeing? The first home game or just the first game for the Kraken? Spartan says, I'll try to meet up. Also, it's my 5th time going. Okay, I didn't realize that. Kai says, I'm not a big feels guy for making the playoffs. I figured that out. It's rad, but I've been down this road before and know this is only step 1. I think what's happening here, I'm going to do a little therapy session on Ty. I think what's happening is Ty isn't trying to get too amped up because he doesn't want to get disappointed. I think that's what's happening. But yeah, no, I get it. I'm just giving you a hard time. A lot of us have been down this road. I kind of feel like a kid again, Ty. This feels like, I think I messaged you and Brian. I was saying, I was up. It was still midnight. I was I feel like I'm 13 years old waiting for the Sharks to play, against Calgary or whoever they were playing back then. It's a fun feeling. So enjoy it, Ty. I know it's going to be a tough first round matchup no matter what, but this is history, man. We're going to watch history. All of us get to do this together. The first time the Kraken have made the playoffs. How many people are going to be able to say that, in the future? So that's a really cool thing. Take it in. Jim, what beer was the light from? I thought it was Bud Light. Ty says, you're on to me. I'm protecting my feels. Yes. I'm not even a therapist, Ty. I know what's going on here. I have a teenager. Alicia says, been to a few Red Wings and Sharks, respectively. And those were some great series in, 2008, 2010 time frame. Patrick Marleau, Joe Thornton. I remember that series, one of the series against the Red Wings. The Sharks stormed out to like a 3-0 series lead. They almost let the Red Wings back in that. They ended up winning it. I think it was in games 6 or 7, but and then like the Sharks, they went through that reverse sweep. Talk about that a little bit on the podcast episode tomorrow when LA came back and knocked them out of the playoffs. Just all sorts of stories, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. Ty says, you of all people know how much I get into the game. Oh yes, no, I know. That's why you got to put the walls up sometimes, protect the feels. A lot of emotions come out during the playoffs, and I'm excited. Can't wait to go through it and feel like a kid again. I'm still a Sharks fan, but they're just, they're struggling right now. So it's cool to have this new team, the Seattle Kraken, and be a part of it, and can't wait to cover it here as we go into the playoffs. 3 stars. Here's the official ones, you guys. No surprise here. Amadio, Smith, and Carlson. That line was fantastic all night, and they're the 3 stars of the night. No surprises for me. Amadio, 2 goals, 1 assist. Almost had that 3rd goal on that rush. Riley Smith, also great job by him. 2 assists, 1 goal. And Carlson just... he draws attention all over the ice wherever he goes. Really great player, especially great transition player, and he's got those sweet hands when he shoots the puck. 2 assists for him tonight. So the Golden Knights really feeling it and put it on the Kraken tonight throughout the entire evening. Spartan says, this is my first playoff season I've seen myself. I'm going to watch. I've seen bits and pieces of the Stars in the past. Yeah, so... it kind of becomes like this theater that happens in motion for me, at least. If you really watch the games, you listen to the crowd, listen to the announcers, and just the way, like, I like to pick 1 or 2 series to really focus on. Obviously, I'm going to be focused on the Kraken, but when I don't have a rooting interest, I'll pick a couple of series, both East and West Conference. I do watch all of them, but I really focus on a couple of them and just kind of watch as it plays out, all the adjustments that they make. A lot of the trash talk and kind of banter between the teams through the press corps. That's always kind of interesting. You see a lot of that. Daryl Sutter has always been like the king of that, kind of, playing with the mind of the other team. Peter DeBoer also great at that. And so you see all this kind of stuff, the chess match that happens in the theater of the playoffs. It's a really fun thing to kind of take in. So Spartan, I can't wait for you to, go through that experience a little bit more with the Kraken in it. And belonging, as a part of this whole playoff push here in 2023. Pretty great. And Spartan even said, yeah, I never had a team that I love, so that's why. So there's that. I'm very excited. Yeah. So, and we've been talking about this, and Ty, credit to Ty for kind of asking that question. If this is the first time you've watched it with a horse in the race, it definitely changes things. You'll probably be standing on your couch at some point. That seems to happen in the Squatch fam a lot too. All right, you guys, that's it. Let's look at the standings here real quick, and then we're going to log out for the night. Like I said, I got some edits to do. I want to get that podcast published tomorrow with your stories in it. So Vegas, now 50 wins, 109 points. Seattle, 46, 27, and 8 there in the 4 spot. That's the first wild card position. Let me switch it to the wild card view. That should make it a little easier to see kind of matchups right now. So, Seattle would play the Colorado Avalanche if things, were static as of now. And Vegas would take on the Winnipeg Jets. So the overall top seed takes on the second wild card, and the second overall, division winner there takes on the first wild card. And then from there, you've got just within the division matchups in the 2 and 3 spot. Dallas, Minnesota, Edmonton, Los Angeles. Those would all be really good series in the West. Maybe on the next time when we go live, I'll take a little closer look at the East, or maybe I'll post a video for a playoff preview here in the coming days. But that's where things are at in the Western Conference right now. Still a really tight race with just a game or two left for most teams. So let's look ahead here, you guys, and call it a night. The last game of the Seattle Kraken season. I'm going to be out there for that one, so no post-game live stream after that. But the Vegas Golden Knights come to town April 13th to wind down the second campaign for your Seattle Kraken in the regular season. That's a 7:30 p.m. start time, and I bet the place is going to be loud. I have a feeling it's going to be a little practice for the crowd for the playoffs. That's going to do it tonight, you guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being on the stream. Be sure to hit the like button before you log out. It definitely helps the channel as I continue to grow here and add more content. A reminder, if you're liking what I'm doing here, turn on alerts. That way you know when I go live or when I upload new content. You can check it out before anybody else. And like I said, I am going to publish that podcast tomorrow. So keep up over on Twitter. I'll give you the update over there when the episode drops. That's going to do it for me tonight, you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in for another episode of Postgame Rapid Reaction. We'll catch you again on another stream here real soon at Sasquatch NHL. Have a good night.